today I can finally do my spoiler review for Weapons. Yes, you guys know, man. If you guys have been warned, man. Look, this gonna be a full-on spoiler review. I ain't really finna say too much. Go ahead and cue that intro.
Probably you. We got a problem. 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 It's probably you. Yeah. We got a problem. We got a problem. Yeah. We got a problem. We got a problem.
Look, y'all guys first time finding my channel, like it says right below. I really would appreciate if you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe. It really does help the channel. I'm not even going to lie to you guys, bro. This video is not gonna be monetized at all because of the simple fact that as soon as I play a little bit of this trailer from Weapons, Warner Bros is going to copyright this video. So I'm literally doing it just for the straight up love of the game. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and let's get right into this one. Now look, this is gonna be a full spoiler review. So stuff I cannot talk about in the regular review, I'm gonna be talking about here. First things first, why all the kids got kidnapped, where they went, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and answer those questions right freaking now. The stuff I want to talk about, I can finally talk about. So if you guys know, and this is the reason why I kind of stepped away from this character and didn't say nothing about this character in the regular review, in the non-spoiler review, but all the kids pretty much get kidnapped and get taken to a house because of this simple character named Gladys right here. Now, I saw her in the trailer, but I did not want to say anything when it became to my regular review because I didn't want y'all knowing anything about this character. She shows up pretty much halfway throughout the film, and I mean, you can put it simple terms like this. She's a goddamn witch. Pretty much she has this tree bark where if she puts like some part of your body on her, like your hair, your blood, something like that on this tree bark, she pretty much, you do whatever she wants you to do pretty much. You're under her control. You're hypnotized by her, you know? And that's pretty much how she ends up getting all these kids to go to her crib because she tells her grandbaby, hey, look, can you just go to school one day and, you know, all your classmates, they bullying you anyway. All your classmates, can you just get them and just go grab some stuff from their lockers so your grandmother can feel better, you know? And that's pretty much the movie, that's pretty much spoiling it right there. That's why all these kids end up disappearing from this one classroom. Now, I'll get into the kid in a little bit, but I kind of just wanted to talk about that. Like I said, you see those kids right there. I already know, I got copyrighted right there. I'm already copyrighted, Warner Bros. I get it. Like, y'all get all the money from this video, Warner Bros. Y'all got it. But yeah, man, that was pretty much the thing right there, and that's how all the kids end up getting put in this basement, I would say. I was thinking about another word, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this, man. Look, I really did enjoy the fact that they did chapters in this, like on each character. Like you go through like 6, 7, maybe 8 different characters. I can't remember how many characters it is. I think it's like 6 characters or 7 characters you go through. And you go throughout their day. And I really did enjoy that aspect because I'm like, that's different. A lot of people, especially for a movie, wouldn't do that. I've seen it done plenty of times in TV series, but a movie, you gotta really know what you're doing if you really want to pull something off like that. And I felt like through all the characters and their chapters, I felt like it worked and it didn't work. Like it worked because you're allowing all these characters and all these actors to get their chance to shine, right? Even freaking Austin Adams as James, I'll get on him in a little bit. But you give him, somebody that barely was seen in the trailer, you give him a chance to shine in this movie. You give all these actors their chances to shine. But I felt like it didn't work because of the fact that, okay, so you guys know the main character of this movie is Juliet Garner, right? But the movie doesn't really like revolve around her, especially when it comes to that third act, I feel like. Like, once you really get down to the nitty gritty in the story and who you really need to start following, she's the teacher, so of course, and she's like very, you know, caring over her students. But after a while, she wasn't even the main character anymore, right? She wasn't even the character I wanted to follow anymore. I was trying to follow I'll tell you who I was trying to follow, who I really cared about following. I'll even say I wanted to follow Josh Brolin's character even more than her character. Because her character was kind of like uninteresting after a while. Because if you go into Josh Brolin's character, pretty much he's like trying to do detective work on the whole entire case and stuff, right? So it's interesting to follow his side and his POV. But you talk about like the most interesting characters to follow is the characters that actually really got to the needy and greedy of this movie. And one of the characters, and as I already know, this kid gonna freaking blow up, y'all. This kid gonna blow up. His name is freaking Alex in the movie. Very, very young. I think his name is Carrie Christopher in real life. But the movie really revolves around this kid, right? He's the kid when you first meet that, oh, he was the only one that didn't get kidnapped. You know, everyone else, they're gone, they disappeared. But him, no, he's still in the class. And once you get to his story, his chapter, the whole movie just opens wide open, right? It's just, everything's like, oh, everything's so clear when it comes to him. And you see exactly what is going on through his eyes. And I'll tell you, I'll say I got out the way because I wouldn't want to spend too much time on this, but all the actors' performances I thought were really, really good. There was no bad performance in this movie. I will say that everybody did their job. That's why I'm not here. That's not this review gonna be talking about. But him, I would say the movie really shined with Alex. I felt like, because like I said, his whole story, his great grandma, his aunt or something like that, how she be hypnotizing people. You pretty much get all that, you know, through Alex. Now it's not 100% Alex because of the fact that you actually first meet her character. I think I have to go see it again, but I think you first meet the grandmother or the aunt within another character, and that other character is, if y'all guys have seen Marvel, y'all guys know exactly who I'm talking about. Benedict Wong, who plays Andrew in the movie. I'm actually trying to find a really good picture of him. But the movie, you first meet her crazy ass through him, and you guys remember in his story, she pretty much hypnotized him too. Like, you guys remember there was a time where they were just sitting down, because he's the principal of the school pretty much, and she came and she was like, hey, you haven't called the police or anything about you know, Alex's parents being gone, right? And he's like, no, not yet, I'll do that on Monday, but no, not yet. And she's like, oh, okay. And then the aunt ends up going over to his house. Now we found out that in the movie he's gay, right? He has a lover. That's a guy. And the guy pretty much lets the crazy ass aunt in. He's like, oh no, come in. And then y'all know what happened. She hypnotized him, right? Made him kill the guy that he loved in the movie. And I was like, damn. Like, he repeatedly, I was like, he just didn't stop until she told him to stop. You know? So the movie, you really see the first hypnotized possession through Andrew, aka Benedict Wong, in the movie. Which I thought was cool, because I was like, okay, we can see how all this happens, and you can see why the kids like ran out the house, like they're like, oh, you know, we see it through him, right? So that's why I was like, okay, that's dope that we actually got it through his eyes, because freaking he is, bro. Benedict Wong did an amazing job with this. That makeup looks fantastic, I would say, and he looks creepy as hell, especially with those eyes. Like I know I'm not even trying to make no money. Look at the eyes right here. Look how creepy that is. You know what I'm saying? I was like, the makeup department, I thought, did a really, really great job in this movie. But let me get into some of the questions, because I'm 9 minutes in and I did not get into the freaking questions I want to get into. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all know spoiler reviews, I don't really edit these videos. I kind of just throw them up. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So I don't even have my notes on me. I'm not even gonna be real with y'all. But I have a couple of questions, right? Because if you guys remember the ending of the movie, right? And pretty much we find out exactly where the kids are. And you guys remember Alex, you know, the last character we kind of went through, freaking Alex pretty much reversed the hypnotism, God damn it, I can't say the goddamn word. He reversed hypnotized these kids into freaking pretty much going after his aunt, right? So he reversed it and made all of the kids go after his aunt, and they ended up killing his aunt. And I was like, okay, now let's spend a little bit of time on this, because now this is interesting. How are all the kids gonna be after freaking the aunt died, right? And I guess pretty much the kids they slowly, I guess, go back to normal. That's the part that was confusing to me, because I know there's a kid that's narrating the whole entire movie, and he at the end says, "Oh, they started talking. Some of them started talking at the end, or it's talking later." And I was like, I would have loved to just kind of get like a year recap after this, like a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. These are how all the kids are. You know, that's what I wish we would have gotten, but we don't. So it's kind of left up to the imagination, I feel like. But yeah, I was kind of like, okay, so what now? So, you know, oh, also, how did the grandmother even found out she could even do witchcraft like this? And then my biggest question with her was like, why did she do this? Maybe I missed it in the movie, because I'm not gonna lie, I did get up for a split second. I had to get up and and get my phone, because I was doing a text message, so I had to get up. But I'm like, I didn't see her though, so I'm like, what was her deal? Why did she want to hypnotize all these kids? I know she was saying like it's for her to get better. Like she kept telling Alex, like, if you want grandmother to be, or your aunt to feel better, do this specific thing, right? But we never got into why. Like, why does you capturing all these kids, hypnotizing all these kids, actually help you in the long run? So that was one of the biggest things for me, and I was like, I just didn't feel like that question got answered. I even asked a couple of my movie critic friends after the film. I'm like, hey, did y'all understand her motivation and things of that nature? No one. Everybody said they didn't know. So I was like, well, damn. I'm like, no one knows now. So that was the big thing for me. But another thing, I was wondering, like, why is this movie called Weapons? Why is it called Weapons? And I finally got it. It's because everyone, even going down to the kids, once they were hypnotized, they were used as a weapon. You know, just like all these kids were when it came to killing Gladys at the end, or Gloria, whatever the frick her name was. But whenever they killed her, when Benedict Wong, you know what I'm saying, Andrew, whenever he became hypnotized, he became a weapon. So that's why this movie is called Weapons. I was like, you know what? That's really, really a dope. That's dope. But I'm gonna tell you guys, man, overall, look, y'all know me, man. I fell in love with Zach whenever he dropped this amazing gem years ago called Barbarian. Like, whenever he dropped Barbarian, I was always hooked for Zach's next project. And even after Weapons, I'm hooked for his next big project, which will be Resident Evil. And y'all know me, I love Resident Evil, right? So I'm excited to see his take on Resident Evil, what he does with Resident Evil. So I'm excited to see what he does from that. So, but I'm not gonna lie, like, through 2/3 of this movie, I was solely enjoying this thing. The ride. I think the movie really benefits when it's just mysterious and you really don't know what's going on. That means your mind is just running wild with ideas. You know, watching this movie, I was like, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that, maybe it could be that. And then I was like, oh, and once it's revealed, I'm like, oh, aw. You know, like, it wasn't like a bad thing, but I was like, I guess my mind was just running so crazy with ideas that I was just thinking it would be something like bigger, you know? So when it happens, I was like, okay. And even getting down to that third act, it's not that I didn't dislike the third act. I just thought the third act just felt so different than the rest of the film. Because if you guys notice, the rest of the film, like the first 2/3, and that's why I really want to spoil in the movie, or in the non-spoiler review, is that the movie for the first 2/3 is really dark, I feel like. You know, it's dark, mysterious. You know, it just has you wondering and thinking that the first two acts. And then when you get in that third act, or not even when you get to the third act, when you freaking meet Gladys over here, the movie kind of changes. I feel like from this point, the movie changes a little bit. And it becomes somewhat of a different tone. Now, I felt like if you gave this to the wrong director, I felt like they would have messed this whole movie up, because changing tones like that, how they did it, is dangerous. But I felt like Zach handled it the best way he possibly could, and he did a good job at handling it. But I will say it did feel off while I was watching the movie, because I was like, damn, like I said, I was so strapped in. Those first two acts, everything going on, I was so into it. But then freaking that third act hits, and it damn near starts to become a comedy. Even down to the freaking third act when Gladys finds out that oh no, my grandbaby done switched it on me. You know, even when she finds that out, I was like, that was even kind of goofy. Like, even like when she's running away from all the kids, I'm not gonna lie, I started laughing at that. And I was like, this is a horror movie, a horror mysterious movie. I should not be laughing at this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she when she started running away from the kids, I was just dying of laughter, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. But like I said, it just changes. And I feel like in the third act there was 3 bad things in the third act. I feel like from my eyes, that tone changed. Big thing, especially with her. There was some unnecessary body horror. I know somebody in my last comment on my last video said like it's a horror movie. There's gonna be body horror in there. You gotta understand, if you watch those first 2 acts, there might be one scene where there's like a ill type moment, and that's when Benedict Wong, aka Andrew's character, dies in the film. Right, and you see that he gets ran over and his freaking brains are busted loose, right? It's everywhere, brains are scattered everywhere, right? That was the only thing we had until that point. Then you get into that third act and they go all out body horror. And I was just like, I felt like this movie would work better if there was no body horror in it. You know, that's honestly just me. And you could have messed around and made the movie PG-13. Is it not PG-13? What is this movie? I didn't know about that. What is this movie? This movie gotta be rated R. Yeah, it's gotta be rated R. Come on, you could have messed around with this movie PG-13 if you went that route. But yeah, no, the body horror, and I felt like that third act was somewhat rushed. Like it kind of happens, and then it's just like, hey, we're gonna move quickly throughout this thing. They're like, the movie's like, look, we told you what's going on. We told you who's behind this whole entire thing. Now let's go ahead and speed this up, right? And let's wrap this thing up. And I felt like I wish they would have took a little bit more time on that third act. Drag it out maybe 10 more minutes, right? So it doesn't feel so rushed, and it feels like it's just trying to conclude already. You know what I'm saying? Like even up to the freaking very ending, it just felt like the movie was trying to get up out of there, you know? So that was my biggest 3 complaints in the third act. That's why I didn't like the third act as much as the first 2 acts. The first 2 acts I loved, y'all. Like, oh my God, I'm telling y'all, if y'all seen my non-spoiler review, I said those first 2 acts, I felt like this movie was gonna be better than Sinners. Like I had this above Sinners while I was watching the movie. I was like, I'm enjoying this more than Sinners, but then that third act hit and I was like, never mind, I ain't enjoying this more than Sinners no more. But that's here nor there. I do want to talk about 2 characters really quickly. And it's 2 characters I did not talk about too much in the non-spoiler review because I felt like I felt like I wanted to just keep them under wraps. And the first character is, his real name is Alden, but he plays Paul in the movie. And you guys remember his backstory if you've seen the movie. And pretty much in the movie with him, he's a cop, but you know, he doing a little dirt on the side, especially with sleeping with Justine, aka Julia Garner's character, right? And not only that, he just be having bad days at work. So he has all these bad days at work, and it don't make it no better that he freaking runs into freaking James. And I'm not gonna lie, the actor Austin Adams that plays James, bruh, fantastic job. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bruh. His performance as like a junkie that he's homeless, and the ways he tries to get money is from stealing from other people, like going in their cars and stuff like that and trying to pawn the people's items. I thought it was brilliant. And he plays it up, you know. But I feel like he's kind of brings the comedy to this movie. Him and Gloria, whatever, how you say her name. But I thought he was a surprising performance in the movie because I never saw him in the trailer. I never cared about him in the trailer if I did see him, but he did a fantastic job, y'all. I mean, a fantastic job in this movie, man. I will say, Austin Adams, you did your thing. I'm trying to see you on other projects, Austin. You did a fantastic job. But yeah, the movie, I felt like when it came to those chapters, the story really starts to unwind and reveal itself through characters like James here. Right? So I think that's why I said I feel like it's good and it's bad, because early, you know, every actor gets to shine with their 30 minutes of their chapter, whatever, however long it was. But you really start to get deep into the story, really deep, going through James, because James is the one that actually breaks into the house, the main house. He ended up breaking into there, and he goes in there and he sees all these kids, and he's like, wait a minute. He's like, hold on, ain't there a goddamn reward for these kids? And he's like, well, I know this is how I get rich right here. You know, and that's his whole entire thing. So that's why I really did enjoy it. But like I said, there was no performance I didn't really like. I thought everybody's performance was really good. I think my biggest complaints in the film were the fact that I wish they would have at least explained the movie more. Spend 10 more minutes just explaining your film. Like I said, I want to know why she did this certain stuff. Maybe they explained it and I just didn't hear it. Or maybe I missed it. But why did Gladys do all this? You know what I'm saying? What was her motivation behind it? Why did she need all those kids? Now I know she says like, oh, I did it because the kids will make me better, you know, but why? How? You know? Those are the questions I need to answer in the movie, and they did not give me the answer at all. I did actually see why Jordan Peele actually wanted to be a part of this though. It was a certain part in the movie where I was like, Jordan Peele probably read that and was like, that's right up my alley. And I mean when people are getting hypnotized, especially with this little goddamn tree bark right here. So I feel like watching this movie, I could see exactly why Jordan Peele was freaking mad. I'd have been mad too, especially if he did Get Out. So this is already in his alley somewhat. And then now, you know, this with other people being hypnotized, yeah, I see why Jordan Peele was mad about this. But yo, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't bring any notes to this review. I kind of just went like off the top of my head. That's kind of how I do my spoiler reviews. I kind of just be talking. I'm not even gonna completely lie to y'all. I just kind of sit back. I just talk. You know, those are my regular reviews are when you have my notes in front of me. You know, this review, I kind of, like I said, I just sit back, talk. I don't even edit these videos, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. This video right here probably ain't gonna be edited. I ain't gonna lie. But I will tell you guys, I really did enjoy this movie for the most part. Y'all guys know that, man. Them 2/3 of the movie, I was having a blast with this. This is my second favorite horror movie of the year, right behind Sinners. Right behind Sinners, y'all. Is this one right here? I actually think I liked Barbarian just a little bit more because of the fact that I felt like I never walked out with questions. You know, everything was answered in this movie, and I thought just the tone and how the movie started to really reveal itself, because I never thought, I ain't gonna lie, walking in Barbarian, like, okay, Ryan is really good at his trailers, at hiding his trailers, like giving you just enough for you to go see the movie. That's what Ryan's really good at. But in this Barbarian movie, I literally just went to go see it just to go see it. Just because I was a movie critic and I was like, I want to go see this horror movie. But I never once thought like, yo, it really gets this crazy. Right? I never would have pictured it. What would happen in that movie? So I for that fact, I have Barbarian over Weapons, but it's not that far over it. I still love both movies. And I love how he freaking, that was one of the biggest things. How he casted freaking It. So they made him think that he was really a bad guy when he really wasn't the whole entire time. That's a whole other review, y'all. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, man, y'all guys know I loved it. I gave it an 8.7 out of 10. Probably gonna go see it again, probably today, because I just want to make sure I got everything from the movie. So I'm actually gonna go buy a ticket. Y'all want to see me buy a ticket right now? I might buy a ticket on camera. Who knows? But look, y'all first time finding my channel, hit the subscribe button, like the video, tell me your thoughts, complaint, criticism, so down below. I know this was so out of order, y'all. It's just like, you were like, whoa, you were bouncing all over the place. That's how these spoiler reviews are gonna be for me, y'all. I just kind of sit back and I just chat and I just talk to you guys. That's pretty much it. I don't really have a structure to these spoiler reviews yet. I will, but right now, you hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Like the video. It really, really does help you guys like the video because of the fact that I'm already knowing that freaking Warner Bros is going to copyright strike this video. That's kind of why I'm not even gonna end the video at all, because they're going to copyright strike this regardless. So it is what it is. But look, y'all first time find my channel, hit the subscribe button, the video. We'll see you guys next one, man. Peace.